Hello students, how have you been? Are you okay? Good. Our lesson topic for today is Unit 7, Finding a Job. Before I am going to proceed today's lesson, I would like to introduce you why we learn what is the objectives of this lesson. Listen to the three employees talking about their job. So, our objective is that developing your listening skill. Good. Before you are going to do these three employees talk, I'm going to ask you some questions. And then I'm sure that you'll say something about these people. Is there anyone who employs any government school, any government organization, or anywhere in the private organization among your family? Good. What kind of responsibility do they have? What do they do there? What about their profession too? Do they usually talk about their profession? Very interesting one. Have you heard of them talking about their profession, what they face while they are doing, while they are performing their activities? Good. In what way do they describe their problems and tell their solution, the way how to make resolution of a problem? Interesting. Good. Some of your families may work in the private or government organizations, maybe doctors, medical people, or they may be teachers, they may be mechanics, they may be accountant, they may be managers, they may be social workers. There are a lot of professions. So among these professions, I'm sure that one of your family member is employed or engaged himself or herself to this profession. He may be a mechanic, it's okay, or he may be a civil engineer, okay. He may be in different professions. Therefore, you do have your own experience that you have got, that you have brought from your families, the way how they are describing about their profession. Now, let's going to answer this question, please. You are going to listen to three people talking about their working, what they are talking about. Before you listen, copy the table below into your exercise book and do it by yourself. Here it is. Here is the table, please. Wow, good. Copy this table and you are going to practice and guess what these three employees are talking about. The first job, chief mechanic. The second one is office, or she is office manager. The third one, hotel manager. What do they perform in their day-to-day task, in their day-to-day activity? It's written on the screen. So chief mechanic, we don't know what they are going to do. I'm sure you will answer this question and fill the table based on the information that's given in the listening text. So training and qualification. What kind of qualification do they have? The chief mechanic, the officer manager, the hotel manager. So write their qualification, their training too. Similarly, personal qualities and skill. What kind of skills do they have? Chief mechanic, the office manager, the hotel manager. What kind of skill do they have? What kind of skill do they employ while they are making or while they are delivering or activating their tasks? And finally, salary. Who is complaining about his salary? Who is that? Is that a mechanic? Is that a manager, office manager, or the hotel manager? What about, is that moderate or high? What do they talk about their salary too? All these informations are available in the listening text. So I'm sure, based on the information that you have about your member of the family who is engaged in different profession, I'm sure they are talking about their what? Their qualification, right? In what way do they perform their tasks? Similarly, the quality they have, the skills they have in each profession. And do they complain about their salary, or are they satisfied with their salary? Is that moderate? Is that high? Do they send you to a better school? Do they send you to get or good medication, etc.? So, based on that information about different profession, I'm sure just you will complete this table after you listening to the listening text. Thank you. Now, listen to me. I'm going to read the listening text once more. I need your attention. Thank you. A. In me, that is chief mechanic. When I left school, I got a job in my uncle's hotel in Lalibela, where I worked as receptionist and then front office manager for about 6 years. This was useful experience as I learned the basic skill of hotel management. Then an enrolled and a 3 years course in hotel management at the Catering and Tourism Training Institute. I was lucky enough to do the practical part of the course in a chain of luxury hotels, where I worked as a front office assistant manager. It was on completion of this course that I got the job as manager. Here is one of our national parks. We cater mainly for foreign tourists. It's quite small. We only have 40 rooms, and I have to do everything: marketing, bookings, guest relations, arranging tours and excursions for the guests, food ordering, accounts, personnel management, and anything else that comes up. I live in the hotel, in a small house, in the gardens, with my wife, and we have one child. My work is always interesting. There is a new challenge. Living here in this beautiful place, far from the city, I'm very lucky, but it is hard. 24 hours job. I always have my phone, my mobile phone is switched on. Wherever I am, so that staff can call me if there is a problem. The main quality you need is the ability to be calm in crisis. Also, you mustn't get angry with guests, even when they are being difficult, and you have to find solutions to problems that seem impossible. That's an interesting one. I'm sure this activity, this listening text, is belong to one of these professions. To whom it belongs to? Is that for chief mechanic, for office manager, and hotel manager? Thank you so much. You have done your job beautifully. Good. Have you finished every information? What kind of training and qualification does this person have? Personal quality, what kind of skill does he have or does she have? What about his salary or her salary? Is that low, moderate, or high? Is he satisfied or is she satisfied by her salary? That's all. I'm sure that you'll guess, okay, which profession belongs to this listening text. Good. Now it is time to listen to the second listening text. Attention. I left school after grade 10 but found it difficult to get a job. I knew I wanted to do something practical. In the end, I got a job at a garage. I was employed to serve petrol, and then I started helping the mechanics, and eventually I was made full-time mechanic. I was determined to improve my situation and studied in my spare time. I joined evening classes as a driver's and mechanics training center. And after completing a basic course of 4 auto mechanics, I went on to do a specialist course in motor engines. This meant I could apply for jobs requiring qualifications. I'm now chief mechanic in a regional branch of a large plant hire company. I'm responsible for all the constructions equipment, as well as supervising the servicing and repair of the equipment. My job involves keeping records of jobs done, parts that have been used, and so on. The firm is very strict about record keeping. I don't have a supervisor on site, but the company trusts me to do my job thoroughly, honestly, and I can see that this is the way to get on. Once you start trying to trick the company, and I've seen others do it, that's a fast track to nowhere. I'm thinking about doing a degree in mechanical engineering, which would mean I could apply for the job of national plant manager and be in charge of all the equipment countrywide. That would be a very responsible job, and the salary would be much better than the one I have now, which actually isn't too bad. I've worked hard to get where I am, and I still have a way to go to get where I want. There are no free rides. I have to put in the time and effort. I am married and I have got a son and a daughter who are both at primary school. My wife also works in the company, but in a different department. This was the listening text about the one who is responsible of one of these professions. Maybe chief mechanic, maybe the office of manager or hotel manager, based on the information that you have filled previously about the first professional person. I'm sure you should do the same thing as you have done previously. Good, interesting. Who is the person? Right? What about his training, his qualification, personal attitude, and his skill? What kind of skill does he have or does she has? Is he really satisfied with his life? What about salary that he earns there, she earns there? Is that moderate or high salary? Very interesting. Good. Good job. Thank you. Now, you are going to listen to the last text, the last listening text, that is C. I work for a company which publish educational books. What do I do? Well, it's difficult to say exactly. I usually tell people that I'm the one who keeps the company going. Most of the work that's done here lands on my desk at some time or other. For example, invoicing, either sending out invoices or paying them, they come to me first. I'm also responsible for receiving and passing on books orders to our warehouse, and then checking that they have been sent, and also for sending out samples. If any problems come up, the director relies on me to sort out. I have to supervise all the administrative staff, the receptionists, and the secretaries. If we need to recruit staff, I have to deal with the job adverts and the application process. There are other things as well, but I hope I have given you some idea of the variety of things I do. The job is never done. When I leave the office every day, there is always a pile of things waiting for the next day. Obviously, the job requires good organizational skills, and you have got to be able to deal with the employees kindly but firmly. It's very stressful at times, but I have learned to be calm in a crisis and polite to all customers even when they are being unreasonable. On the other hand, the salary is fair for the type of work I do, and I have very little time to feel bored. I left school with the certificate of secondary education and then did a degree in business administration for 3 years. After graduating, I got a job in a small office where I had to do more or less all the administrative work, and that was a good preparation for this job. I've been doing for 3 years. I'm not married, but I'm engaged and hope to get married soon. I will definitely continue my job when I am married. In my free time, I like emailing my friends and surfing the internet. That's interesting. That was the text talking about. See, same is true. What about this story? Tells us that the chief mechanic, office manager, hotel manager, what kind of training or qualification does he have, does she have, etc. Personal qualities and skills, salary, low, moderate, etc. Very nice. I'm sure you have done your job beautifully. Now, let's go to the next activity. Good. The descriptions have already set up. You did your job beautifully. You did every information about these 3 employees on the table that's given before, and also just you have done everything on the right track. Interesting. Good. Activity 2. It's the same thing. We have already completed our job. Now, let us complete and let us going to discuss on this issue. Discuss the meaning of the words and expressions from the listening texts. Plan, hire. Plan, hire. Look, this term belongs to whom first? This word is found in which listening text? That's interesting. Yeah, very good. Plan hire means the one who is what? The office manager. Is okay? Yeah, the office manager. Plan hire. He is responsible to hire, recruit the one who is applying for the special position of the organization. So this is a term that we have heard where in the listening text about the office manager, right? The one who is working in the office. Come again, a fast track to nowhere. A fast track to nowhere. Who said these expressions? A fast track to nowhere. What kind of person is he? Is he complaining? Or is she complaining? Or is she informing or telling something? Or is he telling or informing something? A fast track to nowhere. There are no free ideas. These are the expressions. Plan hire. A fast track to nowhere. There are no free ideas. Whose expressions are these? A fast track to nowhere maybe belongs to whom? Right? You see, these expressions belongs to each professions that we have listed so far. So they don't have their own ways of expressing about their feelings, their expressions. What kind of meanings do they carry? Plan ahead, fast track to nowhere. Fast track to nowhere. That means this person may have different perspectives. So as to change his profession maybe, right? There is no means, so the only thing is that I have to stay here. It's another way of expression. There are no free ideas means this expression also tells us about there are no free ideas means till we are getting the right job, okay, the employees wants or the employees prefers what? To stay there. This is what we mean. While you are understanding this expression, you have to say in this sense, I'm sure. Good. Come on again. Invoice. Who's telling me that? Yeah. Invoice. Samples. Recruit. Invoice means is a kind of what? Process which usually taking part by whom? By the one who is directly related to the finance. Therefore, yeah, as we have hit the last, okay, professional person, he has said that he is signing every, okay, invoices, every document is which lies on financing, usually just assigned or approved by him. So invoice is common there, is okay. Same is true. Samples. Let's take in the case of samples. Samples are also available there. Recruit. Recruiting. Employing someone, right, for a special position of a job. Recruit means selecting people, the one who is fitting to that position. This is recruiting. Responsibility of recruiting is also what? The one who is what? Doing this task. So what we are going to learn from this activity is that each terminologies or expressions do have their own meaning. To whom belong to these terminologies, right? Who is more of concerned about these terminologies? So terminologies matters so as to describe or to talk about what kind of profession, what kind of person is he. The words, the expressions that he uses or that she uses to describe about his job or her job imply that who is she, who is he. So words or expressions are very important. This is the main target of practicing or exercising this activity. Thank you so much. Very nice. Activity 5. Answer these questions about the listening text. You have done your note. Describe what each job involves. What kind of activity do they involve? Very nice. And for example, the chief mechanic's job involves supervising. Very nice. The chief mechanic, right? For example, the chief mechanic's job involves supervising the machines do have problems. Very nice. Problems. Job involves supervising the machine to have problems. This is the main task of whom? The mechanics. The same is true. What are the advantage and disadvantage of each of those jobs? I'm sure that we have done so far about how to describe advantages and disadvantages of every professions. So based on the experience that you had before, you can do your own, right? Advantages and disadvantages of each profession. That's all we have for today. Till we meet next time. Goodbye.